tool engine with the Turbo Energize as the focus once more. These are tools that aren't as impactful in the Charizard matchup, so look to see Jackson really leaning into those rare candies if he can get that early on.
And confusion, right? We know that Charizard has a hefty retreat cost, but here, let's take a look at the prize cards. A copy of Pidgey and a copy of Charmander when you're running these thin lines could be problematic, but that rare candy at the very top could slow down a band just a little.
Yeah, 2-1-2 Pidgeot line, and we see one piece there, one of the Charmanders as well, so 2 copies of those left to work with. For Amon, not terrible to see those cards, certainly not the pink one, which we know can be pretty important. We'll see what these players have for us as we move forward, but Jackson did win the coin flipped. Will go second. I'm sure that means he's looking for a TM evolution to get the ball rolling.
2 copies of the card to Arvin as well, so it's not the essence of his approach, but definitely a very important and key component, and especially pulling that off before any sort of Jelson happens, as we see one of Jackson's crucial new inclusions, that Tatsugiri.
Yeah, what a great start here for him. He's got the ideal opener here with Attract Customers, as he looks to see what Amon has to start the game off. Going first, it is the Artisan to find a basic Pokemon, and most importantly, check on those prize cards, see what you're working with.
A band mistakenly dropped that Darkness Energy. I'm sure Jackson is completely surprised by seeing that Dark Energy in his opponent's deck, right?
A shocking revelation to see Monkey Dory may be a problem in this matchup, along with 80% of your matches today.
Now, speaking of Monkey Dory, though, Jackson is not playing Monkey Dory this time around. He's pairing Charizard and Pidgeot with Dusknoir. But the confusion from Mindbend can be an issue from into Charizard, but I think Jackson has the perfect answer to that. He has, number 1, a copy of Mist Energy, which outright prevents the Mindbend confusion from happening if it is preemptively attached to any Pokemon that's attacking, usually the Charizard. But he also plays 2 copies of Jet Energy, which synergize perfectly alongside this Tatsugiri, for example. It's on your bench, you Jet Energy the Tatsugiri into the active, confusion is no longer gone, and you get a bonus Attract Customers on top of it. So those 3 key pieces being able to be searched out by Pidgeot's Quick Search, I think the confusion which a band might try to rely on to slow down the Charizard aggression might be a non-factor because of those 3 energy cards.
Yeah, may see Amon leaning into a more aggressive strategy, trying to get the damage loaded up on the other side as opposed to relying on that confusion, as it's just not as impactful. Similarly, that turn wasn't that great. We saw just the Artisan played, a Ralts play down no other cards, so it's just that simple deck search, and now all of that pushed over to Jackson's side, where he starts with Buddy Buddy Puffin and Artisan to go along with Attract Customers. This has to end in TM Evolution, you'd have to think.
I'm seeing Shaman as well as a tech card. We have Klefki, we have Tatsugiri, we have Shaman. We have it all, Kyle. We're ready for every situation here. And, I mean, it's pretty great to see. And Shaman, of course, its main purpose is to stop Wellspring Ogerpon in those Terror Box matches to run you over. But stopping Screamtail from sniping your Pidgey, your Pidgeotto, your Charmeleon can be very important as well. So that extra use of the Shaman could be crucial in this finals match.
Absolutely. When you know that your opponent does not have that boss's orders on the other side that you have to worry about, it really is just that 1 copy of Counter Catcher. And if the prize cards are equal, you are guaranteed safety on the other side of the board so long as that Shaman is waiting on your bench.
There's a Buddy Buddy Puffin for the Pidgey and the Charmander, the pretty ones, of course. So this Attract Customers could be huge.
Yep, still plenty to see here from the hand. Have not seen the Artisan yet, but we do see the shuffle, so maybe there's a little more to be done with this setup, and I'm sure we could also see that supporter for the turn 2. That's always what you're looking for with that Arvin. As you see 2 copies of that, but Lily's Determination, also not a bad find.
All right, Iono off the top. We're going to shuffle, make sure that even if we use it, we do need our deck randomized. What are we planning? Did we have an Arvin in hand, Kyle?
I haven't seen it yet, but
might catch it, yeah. Oh, okay. We just have the TM Evo. All right, so we need to hit an energy off this Iono. There are 8 copies. There is 1 fire energy prized. Huge Iono here. Do we see an energy to Technical Machine Evolution? I see it.
Oh, wow. Sure enough. Nice and shiny. Waiting for him, and he's got the supporters to go along with it. Has everything he needs. Doesn't want to overcommit to the board. Just adding 1 more friend, that Shaman. And that also provides a shuffle, and we'll see some evolutions here, too.
Yep, all the cards that went to the bottom are now live in the deck as well. Technical Machine Evolution, protection from Shaman from a potential rare candy, Gardevoird, crazy turn, discarding energy, sniping your only Charmeleon. Now that is no longer possible. The only Pokemon that can be targeted is in the active spot. And I want to say advantage Jackson at this point.
Absolutely. I don't think you can draw up much of a better turn for Jackson, as he's lined up everything he needs. Very simple, but very effective. Over on the Bond side, had the Ultra Ball, discards the Psychic Energy. A great place to see that resource. Now starting to build up a board of his own. We see the Nest Ball with the Ralts, also the Artisan there too. So Monkey Dory was found with Ultra Ball and should have a little bit more wiggle room there if he chooses. But the hand is pretty low. We'll see if there's a supporter go along with it.
Now, one interesting approach that a band has is, like, usually you'll see these Gardevoird decks and it's like, oh, well, there's no big attacker, right? There's no big way to dish extra damage to get to that humongous 330 HP from a Charizard. However, there is a possibility to use multiple Monkey Dory along with Mew, right? You can use your opponent's Charizard EX's attack against them, right? If they're too far ahead, they take in 3 prizes, that's 270 damage. Well, guess what? Double Adrenabrain plus copying their attack, you want to KO them right back. And I'm sure that's something that Jackson will have in the back of his mind and try to play accordingly.
Yeah, Burning Darkness, always a very important attack to look out for on both sides of the board. Typically, we'll find the knockout regardless on a Bond side, but yeah, as you mentioned, got to look out for those prize cards and look at this.
All right.
We want to start to adjust the board. Use this Iron Bundle, move the Tatsugiri out, and now we see Pidgeotto And this is a Pidgeotto that has a retreat cost, right? Or is this the other one? I can't tell.
I think this is the one that does.
Yeah,
it does have a retreat.
This is 90 HP with one retreat. So we run into this situation sometimes where you have to worry about if his Pokemon will move or not. Thankfully for Jackson, immediately has the answer. Ultra Ball into the Pidgeot and the Lily's Determination. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yep, Quick Search is live now. Any card Jackson needs can be found once per turn. That's still pretty good. How many times are you wishing you could just find that one card? Well, guess what? Jackson will be able to do so. And he wants the Charizard. He wants to apply pressure. We won't be seeing any sort of crazy KO on the Kirlia to deny the Gardevoird, but there's no rush, right? You really don't need to rush at this point in time. You can Quick Search for the Charizard, start applying pressure. You can Quick Search for the Buddy Puffin. If you want to take it a bit slower, we'll see what Jackson has in store for us. I do like the idea of possibly focusing on having a better board, right? The confusion could be annoying as your lone Charizard EX in play, if that's the route you go. And what better way to start off than going boss KO on a Gardevoird EX perhaps at some point, or chasing down the Monkey Duries to reduce the possibility of confusion being annoying. There's definitely an interesting balance between focusing on setting up versus focusing on just pure aggression. And that Quick Search on the Buddy Puffin.
Yeah, definitely a nod to that, as we see now. Charizard EX with the energies, but it was the Buddy searched out. So thinking about what you do afterwards in this setup. Yes, you have Jet Energy, Tatsugiri. You can move your Pokemon around and take advantage of these things, but you also want a backup attacker. And there is a chance, too, that you see the rest of this line that we have, the Dusknoir line. It is a smaller line of just a 2-1-1, but every once in a while, you sneak that in, you surprise your opponent, and this is a deck that builds up damage on the other side. Gardevoird, its main focus is Psychic Embrace, adding all this damage on. Sometimes you can use that Dusclops or Dusknoir, take a free prize.
And there's a retreat into the Tatsugiri for the attract customer. So while there's the Jet Energy in hand, we are not going to see any sort of aggression. We're going to try and continue to build up the board, have at least probably a backup Charmeleon. I don't know if Jackson knows that there's no technical machine devolution threat, right? He just played against a Gardevoird Jailsend that did include that. So perhaps by not knowing exactly Aban's list, he's playing extra cautious.
Yeah, he did not have much time to research at this point. He knew about a few of the techs after top 4, but ran over to try to see what he could get from that match. And a lot of cards were already played by then. So that is it's something that you run into here. It's not an open deck list format, so both these players still trying to figure out the exact pieces of the puzzle.
And I mean, this is like a quite high-level play, right? Going into the Tatsugiri instead of just immediately being aggressive, exposing the Charizard with not a great backup plan. But now next turn, we'll be able to threaten with a Charmeleon backup. We'll be able to have perhaps a Dusclops threatening, like Aban could try to take it a bit slower, not evolve into the Gardevoird to avoid giving that 2-prize liability to Jackson. Then Jackson could respond with like a Dusknoir Curse Blast here, Boss KO here, and all of a sudden, there's no Gardevoird at all, just by there not being a Ralts at all in play.
Exactly. That's where you need to be as Jackson. You know that your opponent likes to work from behind. They use counter catcher. They don't have boss's orders. So how do you change that? You force them to take the early prize card, or you give them that early prize card with the Dusknoir line. We see Bon wants to have a nice full setup. If your opponent is going to give you the time, you may as well take advantage of cards like this brand new Kirlia from Mega Evolution with the call sign, searching out 3 different Pokemon for you.
Wow, Adrenabrain onto the Shaman. If there was a world where we could have 6 damage counters to throw over to the other side, maybe the Duskull could have gotten taken down. Now, Aban, no fear, gets the Gardevoird into play, fully knowing well that there could be a boss KO on the Gardevoird. And the dream turn is Rare Candy Dusknoir, KO the Kirlia, boss KO the Gardevoird, and all of a sudden, Aban is left with very little.
Yeah, and that's not too far out of reach at this point. There is a Pidgeot in play. There is a Tatsugiri that could potentially see the boss's orders, as long as you have at least one of those pieces to go along with it. Okay.
Doesn't even want to look at any other card. He's just going to grab the top card.
I think he found it. That's going to be a pretty solid answer for him here.
All right, we're seeing a quick search for Charmeleon, though, so I don't think we're going to be seeing quite the double knockout, but Jackson's going to be happy to take the first 2 prize cards, nothing else on board to threaten him. Backup Charmeleon ready to go in case he needs to evolve into Charizard, retreat out of a confusion, perhaps boss's orders again, the next Gardevoird, which Aban has already in his hand.
He's got Rare Candy Dusknoir
he does have it.
Hand.
My gosh, all these pretty looking cards, I can't tell what is what.
He just doesn't need any help. He just searched out a Charmeleon because he had another Rare Candy in hand too. Another Charizard's available whenever he wants. It's just an unbelievable spot to see him in here. He's going to take the Kirlia off the board, split the prize difference, and now he can add another Duskull to this board with Artisan. He's got a KO on the active Gardevoird. It's double monkey and a dream for Aban.
My goodness. I mean, who needs quick search when you just have everything in your hand, right? Like the quick search for Charmeleon is just icing on the cake. See the Super Rod recovering the pieces. We threaten a double knockout yet again. We have quick search for more boss's orders, but there's no Ralts in play. The best Aban can hope for is a confusion flip, but with 2 Jet Energy still available and just a simple retreat. I don't know if that's ever going to be enough at this point.
Yeah, this is devastating to see for Aban now as Jackson is taking control of this game. KO on the Gardevoird. Aban does have some pieces of his own. He is down 2 prize cards in this spot. He has no Ralts in play. He does have a Super Rod to start to bring back some of these resources. But how do you find time here? Typically, the answer is Mind Bend. We know that's not a great answer against this deck.
Yeah, when you can just find those Jet Energies at will, it's just not going to be ideal. And then even if you use it twice, right, like you can Super Rod back energy, you have the backup Charizard. this is not looking great.
Charizard retreat isn't even that bad at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
There's so many options for Jackson at this spot, and this was something that we were considering too with the math here, is as you take the 3 prize cards, just one more Dusknoir, one more boss, Pheasantipede could be game-ending next turn for Jackson.
100%. Yeah, we're going to see the Mind Bend, or we're going to see a Turbo Energize. I'm not sure how much that would accomplish. The Bravery Charm, if another Curse Blast gets utilized, would put the Pheasantipede out of range. However, you still have the Maximum Belt, which usually doesn't come into play into this Gardevoird matchup because Charizard just looks at any Pokemon and it immediately gets KO'd. However, Pheasantipede could survive unless we see the Maximum Belt on the Charizard.
Great points. Yes, the Bravery Charm does add some extra hit points. The prize cards are not where a Bond needs them to be, but that is beneficial for Burning Darkness, and this is a Mind Bend into a deck that loves to see this. Plenty of ways to adjust for this, but maybe you force your opponent to avoid KOing the Ralts, but I mean, at this point, if you have the boss and you can go after the Fez, if you have all the pieces, this could be game closing.
I mean, we have Charizard and we have Quick Search for boss, right? We go after the Ralts, perhaps.
All right, we'll see if the pieces are there. There's only 1 fire energy when searching out with the Charizard. If there's a fire in hand, though, then you're okay with the retreat. And there is the pieces. The Arvin searches out the Rare Candy and the Maximum Belt. Rare Candy for the Dusknoir. There should be a follow-up Charizard along with the Maximum Belt with this Pidgeot search now. I think he's found all the pieces to close this thing out.
But we played Arvin. How are we bringing that
right,
Fez
move the Fez. Yeah,
up?
right.
Yeah. Okay, we're just going to retreat. We're going to pay the retreat cost. We're going to Super Rod. We're going to Rare Candy, Dusknoir, KO the Ralts, and just attack, KO the Monkey Dory, leave ourselves with a Charizard with 2, a Charizard with 1, and all we need is a Fire Energy to close out the game.
So not a game ending, but certainly demanding an answer at this point. And without a Ralts, a couple of Pheasantipede, or a couple of Fez and a Screen Tail, you're just not going to get the job done.
There's a Fire Energy in hand, Kyle. This is basically checkmate, right? Like 2 Charizards powered up, Quick Search available, Jet Energies available. You just need to retreat even if an Iono counter catcher play happens. There's the 2 energies. What do you do in this spot? How do you deal with this? Yes, your opponent, you've taken 2 prizes, but just out of the graciousness of your opponent.
Jackson has taken all the prize cards of this game, throws down the Max Belt on the Pidgeot of all places. He has the knockout that he needs, down to 1 prize card remaining, and he has flown through this game in a commanding presence.
Yep, I mean, with Quick Search available, 2 copies of Boss's Orders, 1 has been played, the other one is not prized. The last prize card is an Ultra Ball, so we know that this is game on board. Jackson could have a negative hand size, and he would have it, and there we go. Event scoops and sends us into game 2.
Yeah, what a game here. That was a masterclass from Jackson Ford. Had everything rolling his way. You play all of the little tech cards for a reason, and they really did shine there. We saw Tatsugiri moving through. We saw really perfectly timed Super Rod into the Dusknoir line that he put some time in with the 2-1-1 lines. Just so many things to consider as you build out your 60-card deck list. And on the other side, Bond just does not have some of the tools that are really impactful here. We saw the Turbo Energize that was flashed at the end. Maybe that gave Jackson all the confidence he needed.
That Tatsugiri Boss's Orders first card off the top. Amazing to see. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened in this game 1, which was, I mean, one-sided doesn't do it justice, honestly.
Yeah, this was a commanding presence from Jackson. He set up perfectly, had everything he needed. Tatsugiri, along with the Pidgeot, very early setup, and this was a devastating turn. The Curlia KO'd by the Dusknoir, the Gardevoird knocked out by the Charizard. Had an embarrassment of riches here at the tail end and did use another Dusknoir here. The Bond knew the writing was on the wall. It's time to move to game 2. Still plenty of time left in this finals. He's going to give it a shot this time.
Oh, for sure. And I think a big difference between being under item lock and not being under item lock, right? You were watching the top 4 of Jackson versus Rowan. The confusion with a potential item lock starts slowing things down. Jellicent denying all the item cards, especially Technical Machine Evolution. If that doesn't happen early on, that can cause a lot of problems for Charizard. But there's no item lock, and all you need to worry about is confusion sometimes, and you get to take out all of your opponent's Gardevoird options. I mean, Monkey Dory is good, but it's not that good.
Right, there's just only so much that you can do, and Aban was not teching for this matchup when he made this deck list. He has so many great cards that got him to this finals, but now he has to rely on his skill to get him through this match. He's got what it takes. He's been to this table so many times. He can go second in this matchup now. We'll see what the prize cards have for us as we go into game number 2.
Aban choosing to go second. Klefki start for Jackson, combined with the Buddy Puffin, so off to the races here. If you have a decent follow-up, this could be bad. Klefki not really stopping anything relevant at this point over on Aban's side. There's no like a lot of damage in play, and denying Adrenobrain becomes relevant this early on. But, I mean, you never know when it could come back later down the line.
Yeah, this has been a nice tech inclusion for a lot of different matchups. Yeah, that Jet Energy bring this Pokemon up, and then maybe surprise the Psyduck with your Dusknoir, and it's not going to be as relevant. Maybe would have wanted to start that other Pokemon in the prize cards there, that Tatsugiri once more. But the rest of these prize cards, certainly manageable. Boss's Orders near the bottom will be very helpful for chasing down some of those Gardevoird pieces later on.
Yeah, I would say that's the key piece right here, and it being at the bottom, it's very crucial. Otherwise, knocking out the first Gardevoird becomes relatively simple. Knocking out the following Gardevoirds, of course, Jackson is playing a few copies of Counter Catcher, but Gardevoird is not known for its early aggression, right? Gardevoird is very unlikely to be the deck that gets very far ahead. Maybe in the beginning, takes the first prize card, but as the game progresses, those Counter Catchers will not be very useful for Jackson, and therefore, it's all about the Boss's Order. So he's very fortunate that it's at the very bottom.
Yeah, very, very often when you use the Dusknoir, it's not to leave damage on board and go down in prize cards. You're typically matching in this matchup. You don't leave damage on the other side. So we won't see the Counter Catcher very often. It is the Buddy Puff, and he's loaded up with the Pidgey and the Charmander now, and see what else there is to work with.
You know, Maybe there's something else. We are seeing that very thorough shuffle. Maybe there's something else to be done here. We know there's no access to Tatsugiri. We cannot play a supporter just yet. So it could just be a thorough shuffle to make sure that everything is ready to go after that. After we fanned out everything to price check.
Yeah, not much else left to do here. Fire Energy to the Klefki, pass over the turn, and you have what you need, as you do have a chance to evolve these Pokemon later on. What does Aban have to work with? He's going to download all that information and see, oh boy, you've got Arvin. Yeah. But I don't know if you're going to love that when you go into your deck search.
Yep, the pink card not being available is huge. I mean, do you ever... I know he's considering the Lily over the Arvin, so...
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way he knows that the secret box is priced at this point, but maybe he knows there's a 10% chance of it being priced, and he's just like, nah, there's no need to risk that. I mean, there's no technical machine evolution, so that takes away from the viability of secret box early on in this particular Gardevoird build.
Yeah, now think of the opportunity to use Turbo Energize to load up on those Dark Energies, have the Monkey Dories. So unlikely. It's so unlikely at this point, not seeing the Arvin. It is Lily's determination looking for a singular copy of Turbo Energize, as the secret box and the other Turbo are in the prize cards.
Yeah, so very unlikely. Very good call there by Aban. But now we have 2 Ralts, and we're going to collect for an extra card. And nothing else found. Not a single playable card in that hand, Kyle.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. And this is a rare candy pitch out. There's an Ultra Ball in hand. Charizard is absolutely flying at this point. Arvin to go along with this. If there was a Duskull in play, the game could have potentially been over. This is unreal from Jackson.
Wow, what a start right now. I mean, we could get that rare candy Charizard and start the aggression. Seems like that's going to be the case. I was thinking maybe he would consider perhaps going for the technical machine evolution, take it slow just as he did the previous turn, but maybe he's looking at a band side of the field. He Lilied for 8 and played 0 cards, 1 Ralts in play. He's probably going for the goal now.
Yeah, you know, all of those cards start to smell like money, and he's looking at a little more on the other side of the table now, as he's got rare candy Charizard, quick search to go along with this. He's going to load up a little safety measure here with another Charmander and a Duskull. This could lead to a lot on the next turn. A Dusknoir, even a Dusclops, any of these pieces here could be great, but this Charizard KO onto the Ralts. Aban is on his back foot.
It's crazy that he's pulling this off without Quick Search, right? Like, Quick Search is the extra piece. It's a Quick Search for the extra card that he needs to make sure that his board is even more ready for next turn. He's not needing to Quick Search for the crucial card to pull off these big card combos as he hits the Tatsugiri.
Could you imagine if it hit the boss's orders to go along with it?
That would have been crazy, Kyle.
Yeah, well, he might not be too far off. If Rare Candy Dusknoir hits the board, that is the prize card he'll probably take, and that could lead to some crazy plays. Aban needs to think of everything at this spot. Yeah, he's going to have a good time with it, but, you know, deep down, he's thinking, I wish I had that Pidgeot.
Yeah, I mean, he does have Rare Candy Gardevoird right now. He has a Rare Candy in hand. He has an Ultra Ball as well available, so that's pretty good as a way to, like, Mind Bend, I guess, but if Mind Bend is your crucial strategy, it's just not great, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think I saw a Jet Energy already in Jackson's hand.
Okay, so he's prepared if that is the play. Maybe Aban needs to switch gears. We know the Enamorus is a card that is teched into this deck, and there are some Psychic Pokemon on the other side of the board with the Klefki and Duskull. Perhaps you use that to soften up the Charizard. Maybe work in a 2-hit KO at this point, but it feels dangerous to play down Gardevoird and not be removing Charizard.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you need to confuse it, make sure that it's difficult for it to attack. You still have the new strategy, right? If Jackson gets too far ahead at some point, VOEX can get a return KO, but even if you're taking down one Charizard, if you have the other one available, then it's just not great as we see the Rare Candy Gardevoird into a Lily. Hopefully a better one than the previous. Could you imagine not getting any basic Pokemon?
Well, yeah, it would look very quickly like a reward presence there. We'd just be handing out the trophy here.
Yep.
Lily's determination now sees 8 cards, needs to find some help. I mean, there's so much there. The Artisan, the Nest Balls, anything to get some more Pokemon.
Now, this is a duel between the 2 titans of the Scarlet and Violet era, right? Gardevoird has dominated for so long. Charizard was dominant for so long as well. But it seems like, I mean, big advantage over on Charizard's side as we see Aban try to figure out what he needs to do for his turn.
I mean, there's not much of a better hand than this. Has Earthen Vessel, can find the Dark Energy if you want to start to move some damage around with Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory can be found by way of the Ultra Ball that we see in the hand, so there's a few different ways to go about this. And there is that copy of Mew EX to go along with this too, so would have the backup answer. And maybe you could have that Pokemon along with the Gardevoird both set up so that only one is removed at the same at one time.
However, seems like we're going to go for the Screamtail, going for that Roaring Scream, perhaps on the Duskull to slow down this huge aggression. I mean, Jackson now has a 2-card hand, not a 7-8 card hand like he had before, right? But every time he's had everything he needs, so perhaps Aban just trying to make sure that he has at least a Ralts next turn.
Oh boy, that's a lot onto the Screamtail, but I suppose being 10 damage short and being 50 damage short are the same thing. And if you can remove the Duskull, well, it's actually not going to be. This is a little risky here. We know that one Dusclops means that Pokemon is removed from play, and then Charizard might have a shot at the Gardevoird. If the right prize card's taken, boss's orders.
Yeah.
I mean, does Jackson say 1 in 5? Let's go for it?
Or do you just quick search for the boss straight up and take down the Gardevoird yourself? I mean, going for the Dusclops KO here is a way to protect your Pidgeot, right? Your Pidgeot is really threatened. Did see the quick search. I'm not sure what was grabbed. I couldn't quite tell. I think KOing the Screamtail is in Jackson's best interest, and I think Aban recognizes that if he's going to win this game, he needs to get rid of the Pidgeot and then hope for some good Mind Bend confusion coin flips after a solid Iona or something along those lines. Yeah, it was a quick search boss.
Yep, safety first. Just remove the biggest issue here, which is the Gardevoird. That Pokemon no longer to be worried about. Boss's orders will be found from the prize card. Screamtail still threatening on the Pidgeot, but Jackson might be okay from this point. It really comes down to if Bond has the Iono right here, right now, in combination with the removal of Pidgeot.
I don't think I saw an Iono in the hand. I saw a Lily. I saw a Night Stretcher.
You know what that means?
Yep.
Thin this hand down, Mew, and pray.
We'll have to see if the hero Mew can get us that one copy of Iono. There are 4 in the deck. There aren't any prized. I don't think any have been utilized so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Haven't seen it yet. Just can thin this hand down to 1 and hold the Lily's determination, but he's going to risk it and let the hand stay.
I think this is game, Kyle.
Oh, boy.
Jackson got the boss off the prize cards. There's a 2 prize liability right here. If we quick search for Dusclops, KO the Screamtail, and then boss the Mew, that's the 3 prizes to close out the game. So Aban needs to stop this with like a rare candy Gardevoird into a Mind Bend, and that means the Pidgeot survives.
Even with the prize cards taken from the Pidgeot and a Bravery Charm, you would still not withstand any of these attacks. It's being knocked out well out of its range.
Yeah.
What can be found here with the 8 cards?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of energy on Monkey Durry, sure, but not much else.
Okay, wants to use the Bravery Charm to withstand the Dusclops.
Nice. Okay, so now we need Rare Candy Dusknoir if we want to finish the game next turn. So way less likely now, for sure.
Pidgeot is no longer there, as it should be the likely target, and that means finding that combination very unlikely, but still advantage Jackson at this point. He could go down to 1 prize whenever he sees fit. 1
Kirlia in the deck list, and it is prized here for Aban. So really relying on Rare Candy. Couldn't quick search. Ultra Ball for the Kirlia here to threaten Gardevoird next turn. It's going to be all on flip the script. Pidgeot going down, your opponent having a low card hand is pretty great, right? Jackson's board is definitely a lot weaker or less developed than before. Yeah, we'll have to see how he goes about this.
And we see the Gardevoird, no Rare Candy just yet, but does have a threatening board presence with the Screamtail. Can move a little bit of this damage before taking the KO onto the Pidgeot and soften up.
Just 1 damage counter. You can see how every single damage counter matters, right? As we see the Roaring Scream onto the Pidgeot. Secret box found. That's a pretty huge prize to find.
Yeah, that lines up with more Gardevoird shenanigans here. And Jackson does have the boss. He could go after that prize card on the Fez or the Mew, remove that threat, go down to 1 prize remaining. But is that really where you want to be? The Iono is also fairly tempting.
Yep, the Iono can be very good. Aban has accumulated a bunch of cards. We see the boss onto the Mew.
Okay. And this is a nod to the fact that Mew is a very great attacker in this late game. Going down to 1 prize card remaining, Burning Darkness, return KOs is not something you'd love to see. So give your opponent the Fez draws. There's a ton of resources here. Guaranteed Gardevoird to come out of this alongside likely Iono. This could be a big turn for Aban here.
This has to be the Mind Bend turn though, right? If you don't Mind Bend, Burning Darkness gets announced and anything gets KO'd at this point. So, and there's no way to one-hit KO the Charizard EX. There's no technical machine devolution. There's nothing to deal with it. So this game could come down to a coin flip, but Jackson has such a huge advantage that it probably has yeah, you're right. I guess Mew EX could be the way to KO the Charizard at this point.
Burning Darkness is in perfect range at this point. However, that Pokemon was just KO'd. Have to see the Night Stretcher found, and potentially that is something that could be searched out at this point to bring that Pokemon back in and use it as a closeout attacker. There's not a lot left for Jackson at this point. He did really commit to that early board to try to get down to just 1 prize remaining.
There's 2 Night Stretcher in the list, Kyle. One was used to recover Ralts, and the other is prized. So Aban cannot recover the Mew EX with those. He needs Super Rod, of course, but he can't grab 2 item cards from the secret box. If he wants Gardevoird, he needs the Rare Candy, so he's going to have to hit Super Rod off of the Iono plus Visantipity draw, which I don't know if it has been utilized already or not, but yeah, it's going to be Super Rod, and then a way to find the Mew.
He really wants to grab that Super Rod. It just keeps bringing it over to the top, but it's not going to work out this time around. Has the 4 selectable cards.
Yeah, can't grab 2 items.
Needs to take a risk. You have the Gardevoird. That seems like something you probably need, as you don't set up your Mew any other way.
Yeah.
But after this, you need to use Iono. You need to build this hand back up, and I'm worried about this. I don't know if you can get there with the way these cards have played out. I mean, there is the Nest Ball now. It's actually going to use that resource here, but I'm sure you wouldn't have seen that card, as Iono means it's not going to be available.
And I mean, Aban recognizes, even if I find Super Rod, there's no way to search for the Mew after I recover it. So the Mew play was never live at this point in time, even though, yes, you can use it. You just don't have the cards. That's why we saw the Fest Draw. If you found either Super Rod or Rare Candy, you could get either the other one, the missing piece with Secret Box. So it's just going to be an Iono. It's going to be a Mind Bend to try to bring this game to a 50-50.
Okay, if the cards don't work out for Jackson, there's always that chance to flip the coin, try to win the game outright, and become the champion. We will see the Monkey Dory promoted to the active. There are some cards to look out for on Jackson's side. If he could find Rare Candy Charizard, we'd see him be the winner. If we see the Jet Energy, that would mean that he wins this game as well. He has a few other ways to do this. Rare Candy into Dusknoir could get the job done. What does he have off of this 1 card and the top deck?
Oh my gosh, Aban KO'd the Charmander. He could have tried that earlier and tried to hit the Night Stretcher from the prize cards before he committed to the secret box or before he committed the bench. Oh, never mind. He needed the second Monkey Dory to pull that off. Never mind. That was actually not possible. See the Mind Bend. We see the confusion. Arven and Body Puffin found for Jackson.
Okay, Arven is to see some resources, and none of them exactly what you need at this point. You can't search out that special energy that would seal the game for you. Instead, it's going to get some information and to maybe take account of what his odds are here. I see 50-50, but maybe he can make it a little better with retreating and slowing down.
Going into a Tatsugiri, right, trying to find support for later. We see an Ultra Ball, interestingly enough. He did find Body Puffin as the other card. Now that maximum belt will definitely be getting discarded right here. Could we see Ultra Ball into Fez? Jet Energy is game.
Yes, and he's thinned down very well. Fezandipity, flip the script. We've seen this ability win so many games, so many matches for players. Is this the time now for Jackson? He has the Charizard, he needs the technology. He has 2 Jet Energy that could get the job done for him. Rare Candy into Dusknoir would also do this. He's got 3 cards in a dream.
3 cards off the top, and none of them found. Countercatcher.
Okay, he's grabbing the die, he's going for it, and it is a head!
There it is!
He's
There's
got
the
the
head
attack!
flip.
Burning Darkness taking down the Monkey Dory, and Jackson Ford is your champion.
Very well done by Jackson, trying to maximize his chances of avoiding the coin flip, but then in the end, I mean, I would say it was higher than 50-50, right? It's either find Candy, Dusknoir, or Jet, or flip heads. The chances of that are slightly higher than 50-50. Very well done. Congratulations, Jackson.
He got the job done. It was a very similar story for him in the top 4. Sometimes you just have to have it in you. Go for it all, flip the die, and he found what he needed. This is how we see Jackson Ford become a champion. It starts all here in game number 1.
I mean, Avan did everything to try to come back right after that dominant game 1 where Kirlia and Gardevoird got knocked out in the same turn. Jackson just had everything in hand, created a checkmate scenario where there was no way he couldn't win next turn, nothing relying on coin flip. And then on the second game, Rare Candy Pidgeot, Rare Candy Charizard, aggression, perfectly well done. And I mean, the prizes even helped him, that extra boss's orders, taking down the Gardevoird. Avan tried his best to make this comeback. He almost had it, I feel.
Yeah.
If that was a tail flip, then we could be talking about a completely different game.
Absolutely, and that's what you need to do as a great player. You see the percentages and you start to slowly flip them in your favor. Cards could have gone Yvonne's way. At any point in time, the prize cards were really against him there. The Night Stretcher couldn't be found. The Mew play wasn't available for him. And here we go. Got a little nervous with which die it was, but I was tracking. And it was a heads. Jackson Ford finds the answer. And that is the look of disbelief, excitement, every emotion you can believe. And this is a well-earned win for this young man.
I agree. At first, I also couldn't believe it myself, especially with the 2 die clashing